pissed me off because, like, sorry, it really bothered me because immediately there were all these excuses about, like, well, he wanted to leave the show, and I remember, like, do we forget Lexa? Like, we have Plexicon now because they killed off a queer woman in a very, dismissive way. And, like, they killed Dolls in a very dismissive way. It was dismissive to his role on the show. It was dismissive to the black fans who had very little to get from the show in the first place. And it was like us saying that it's not us trying to be divisive or us trying to like ruin everyone's fun, but it's like, that's all we had. And then that trickles down to how Rosita and Kate are in the show. Rosita was trashed. Like, she was made immediately to be like competition with Winona over Doc. And then Kate appears and she's great and she's just so in love with Doc, became a vampire for him, and he treats her like shit. And he treats Winona, and Winona also is like more angry at Kate than Doc. And it's like, the hell is this? And it's very frustrating because it's like, the show can do it well. Nicole has been great. Waverly's been great. We know that they can prioritize having multiple women occupy a space. Why haven't they done it with a woman of color yet?
And
sorry, that's my
I mean, I definitely felt like it was almost, I don't know if tokenism is the right word, but like replacing, when Kate came in just as Shamir left, it felt like, okay, well, we're just going to trade out another African-American or African-Canadian.
It was a thing of like, I was happy that she was there.
Yeah.
But I also, like, that's the thing is like, we know, like, Black Lives Matter, like, we knew we could smell it coming, like, immediately, it's like competition. It's not like, oh, he loves them both equally and is drawn to them, the way Winona was with, Dolls and Doc. It's immediately like, she's my past, you're my future. And it's like, she became a vampire for you, dude. Like, and she's been literally trying to find you and take care of you forever. And you have no gratitude towards that. And no one seems to care about that. And it's very sad. And it definitely feels like a thing because then it's like, well, what about Jeremy, who's also a man of color? But his main focus is to be like plot device and comedic relief. And since everyone is funny, that's not really a role to play. And it's like, if he's doing the science stuff, that means he's usually in the background, and he comes like, I found out why this thing is this thing, yay! And then that's really the extent of what he gets to do. And I don't think it's like malicious on their part, but I can't help but compare it to Killjoys, which I don't know if anyone watches the show. It's not as well regarded, yes, but like the main actress is a woman of color, and she that year was playing two characters on Killjoy. Was the main villain on Ant-Man and the Wasp, and was in Lara Croft. So she can lead a show and then be in two big movies, that means that there was something going on. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so just talking about like the romance aspect, I definitely thought, like, I didn't read it as well. I didn't see Doll's death coming at all. I really thought they were playing like the long game, which is why they were showing how much Doc was a piece of shit. Like, I mean, I know that a lot of people ship it, but I don't. He's terrible. Like, he's super selfish, and he only like rises to the occasion like half the time, which is just not good enough.
I mean, it's interesting because we talk about the broken bad boy trope, and that's also Doc.
Yeah.
But he's not getting fixed anytime soon. And tying in with Doc and with Dolls and with Kate, my least favorite thing in season 3 was this whole vampire plot.
God, yeah.
I was not a fan of like how the vampires functioned in that world. I didn't understand it. I still don't.
That's because they added it. They're trying to like retcon it, and they can't.
I'm like,
I don't get the tea.
Like, you have revenants. They're cool. Let's fight them.
Yeah, there's too many ways to be immortal. Like, being immortal is like getting to the point that's not even special in this universe. It's like, you're immortal, so am I. Who's not immortal?
Yeah, and so I feel like trying to expand their supernatural universe didn't work out as well as I know they hoped to.
And they do have, so we haven't talked about the comics yet, and I didn't even put that in here, but I'm going to put it in here now. They do have vampires in the comics, right? In the, I don't know, who's read the comics? Like the old comics? The
Bobo's the
90s?
leader of the...
Two people.
Okay. Who's read the more recent issues that correspond to the show? Okay. So the old comics are, it was so fascinating to me to watch this show and then to go back and find the comics, because the comics have all the 90s problems of women in comics with, like, you know. The barbed wire, that movie.
Yeah.
I'm a 80s 90s person, so anyway, it's just kind of interesting. I do think they do have more than Revenants in the comics, so maybe they were trying to bring that in, but I totally agree with everything everyone is saying, and we can love something and still be critical of it.
Oh yeah.
Just like I think Winona, here, we're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
She loves being the heir, but it still sucks, right? Like for her to have to be that person for whom fate makes the gun work, right? Is that good enough as
Yeah.
a segue?
One thing you know with what's going to happen with Doc, with how it got left, is he's going to get a redemption arc, no
Yeah.
matter what. Because no matter how much bad, how much he wrecked everything, especially towards the end of season 3, they're going to write a redemption arc. And that's kind of is upsetting. Because
that's what the broken bad boy always
yeah,
gets.
and you know what's going to
If you're white.
happen.
Yeah.
And I don't think he necessarily deserves it, but he's going to get off the hook for everything it is that he did.
But I'll say one more thing about Broken Bad Boys. So, because I love them. Because I